Over 25, 26 years now ago, I started medical school. And this path that I've been on has been an amazing one. And as I reflect back over the training in medical school and in residency and as part of my fellowship and now seeing patients since that time, right? Almost 30 years, almost 3 decades. I've had the privilege of taking care of countless numbers of people, many of whom are challenged by what we call chronic disease, chronic illness, diabetes, heart attacks, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. These are the conditions that don't always have a clear fix. And my training taught me that while we could mitigate, while we could manage, while we could improve symptoms and improve quality of life, there was no way to treat. But something has shifted in my perspective over the years. While I often think of chronic disease and chronic illness as something to deal with, I now think of it as something that we can overcome. I've witnessed something extraordinary. Time and time again, I've seen patients defy the odds, not just surviving or thriving, but going beyond what they thought possible. It's taught me that there is something there. While some things may seem beyond fixing, there is almost always room to go beyond limitations. Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. If you're new to me, that's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here on the channel, I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. And I'm talking to adults with type 2 diabetes who want to reverse their diabetes. And I welcome you to our new season, to our new year, to a new vision for the future. Hey, I see some folks that are already out there welcoming each other. So thank you. Whatever platform you're on right now, wherever you find yourself, whether you are on Twitch or Instagram, or whether you are on LinkedIn or Facebook, and of course right here on YouTube, I welcome you to this space, welcome you to the community. It has been, I missed y'all. I'm gonna say it. I missed you all. That's right. So we've been gone for a few weeks as we ended the last season, and as we get now into the new season and the new year and the new version of ourselves that's moving beyond where we are right now. You see, we're looking a little different, and we'll talk more about that as we go throughout the season. We've got some folks that are out there that are just saying hello, and so I'm glad that our community is here and community is vibrant. If you're new, go ahead and put new in the comments, because I'd love to welcome you, to say hello to you, and let you know that we are excited and we are joyous when you show up. If you have a question, go ahead and put that question in the chat, in the comments, and we will get to those as we are looking through the things that, the comments that are there. Let me hop over right now and just say hello to some of our folks. Let's see. Let's see who we got out there. There's Steve. Steve's saying hello. Hey Steve, how you doing, man? Let me do something a little different. I want to move your comment a little down over here. There we go. Okay, there we are. And then we've got Jennifer. Jennifer is saying howdy. Hey Jennifer, how are you? Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Steve. And Gian is saying hi, Steve. Happy New Year to you as well. Hi, Jennifer. Steve, hi to Gian, and Gian, of course, saying hi, doctor. Happy to see you new. I'm happy to be in the new space as well. East Coaster, okay, East Coaster. Who is East Coaster? Let me go ahead and give a hand clap to East Coaster and say hello. You can let us know who you are. I don't think I've recognized seeing you before, but we are, of course, excited that you are here. Pamela, good evening, everyone. Hey, Pamela, how are you? Happy New Year to you. Of course, Gian is saying hi to East Coaster and hi to Pamela. Jennifer saying hello to East Coaster. Welcome to the community. Definitely. Hey, Steve. Hey, Gian. Hey, Pam. Hey, Doc. Jennifer's just getting everybody in there. And of course, Pamela is welcoming. Steve, hello to Jennifer. And then Teresa, Happy New Year. Hey, Teresa. I said, hey, doctor, and everyone. Gian says hi to Teresa. And of course, Jennifer saying hello, hello, hello. Oh, man. It's been just a few weeks, but it seems like it's been a while. I'm glad that you guys are here, that you're in the space, and that you're ready to take charge of this year and to take charge of our health. Oh yeah, yeah. So we'll come and we'll talk as we get into the season. By the way, we're gonna talk about lots of different things that we have going on out there right now. And as a matter of fact, one of the things that I do want to say here at the top of the show, if you've not already seen that, we have our 100-day walk to consistency that's currently playing every morning at 6 o'clock. So if you've not seen that yet, we're on day number 6, right? 100-day walk to consistency. If you've not become a part of that, if you've not joined, if you've not jumped in, if you've not put on your sneakers, I had one person actually said to me, send a message and say, hey Doc, I'm not going to be walking with you, but I'm going to be on my rowing machine. And I say that is amazing, right? So we're walking, right? We're walking to consistency, 100 days that we're doing. But I want you to know that if you're not walking, if you can get on the treadmill, if you can get on the elliptical, if you can get on the rowing machine, if you're lifting while you're listening to me, all of that is perfectly fine, right? So we're using walking as an example, but you can do anything that you want to do there in that space to set yourself up for success. And I wanted to pull that up here really quickly so you could see. Okay, there we are. I think that'll work now. So that you can see that. But we like I said, we've been doing 100-day walk to consistency, and we are on day number 6 right now. So make sure that you get there. Make sure you join us if you've not already done so. I thought I could pull up I had it. And this is one of the fun parts of being live. Can we set these things up? Okay, let's see. Here we go. That is just okay. We'll pull it up here in a minute. But I do want to say to you that if you've not already done so, get over there and become a part. Here it is. Here we go. Let's do it this way. There we are. Okay, finally. So 100-day walk to consistency. We've got the 6 days that are out there now, and they will come on as we go through the day. So make sure that you join us as part of that. This is a part of the limitless living, and we'll talk about that more as we go throughout the season, go throughout the episode. But let's hop over and let's have a conversation. Okay, and one of the things that we do here is that we're going to take a look as we move through this space. We're going to take a look at, because we're talking about diabetes, we're taking a look at blood sugars. We will be getting back to our fasting that's coming up here, starting on, we'll be fasting tomorrow, right? So all of that, so all those things, and we'll mention that here in just a minute, because we're not moving away from those things that we have that are working, but we are enhancing, we're getting better as we move through this space. And as you know, one of the things that we have been doing is we've been taking a look at blood sugars. And as is normal, I have my meters over here, right? I've got my my Dexcom, which is right below me, that you'll see here. That's my Dexcom meter, and we'll take a look at some of that as we talk here in just a minute. Okay. All right. And once again, if you have questions, go ahead and pop those into the comment, pop those into the chat, so that we can get to those as we move through our episode. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at blood sugars. Let's go ahead and do that now. And you'll see on the screen. So that's what the Libre says that my blood sugar is right now. Let's take a look at. Let's get rid of some of this other stuff. Okay, let's go back here first. Clear out some of these apps that I've got running in the background. So right now, the Libre says my blood sugar is 115. And let's get rid of some of these guys. Isn't it amazing how many apps sometimes we have that are running in the background? All right, so 115, and then my, okay, so my Dexcom is coming up. All right, so 162 is where we are right now. Let's go ahead and let's look at my meter. So right here, I've got a Libre. I've got, not a Libre, but I've got a Keto Mojo and I've got a Contour. Let's get some strips into those and let's take a look at where we are. Okay, so this one right here is the Contour. This is the Keto Mojo. And I'm going to go ahead and open up like we normally do. This is the ketone stick. And I'll just put that here because I don't want to have to stick myself another time. Let's go ahead and pop this one over. I need a, let's see. Do I have any more of those? Oh, here it is. My new trusty dandy Lancet. Let's go ahead and get that open. And find a finger stick. Ow, 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 ow. Oh, that one I didn't do anything on that one, guys. It hurt, but I didn't get any blood. Okay, here we go. All right, so there we go. So of course now I got 2 drops. All right, so let's go ahead and get that one started. What do you think my ketones are going to be? So I ended my fast last week, actually, probably Wednesday. And I started earlier in the week and I ended the fast on Wednesday. So here's my Keto Mojo. Says I'm 130, 121 for the Contour. Let's get a ketone stick in there. And get that going. Okay, so of course, let us know what do you think the ketones are going to be. All right, so let's jump into our conversation as we move into the new year, right? So this is really a launching of our new season, launching of our new series, and a enhancement, if you will, of what we were doing last year. Before I do that, let me hop over and get some more comments before we dive into our conversation. Let's see, I think we ended right here where East Coaster was saying hi to everybody. Pamela says, hey Doc. Hey Doc, I have managed to do a 24-hour fast for the last 3 weeks. All right, yay. Let's get a hand clap. There we go. For Pamela for doing that. Gian says, wow, Pamela. Awesome, Pam. Congratulations from Jennifer. Yes, definitely. Pamela White, thanks all. She's saying hello to everybody. Thank you for everybody for that. Congratulations. That is very good, Pamela. I'm proud of you. And then Teresa says, Doc, on the 100 Days of Walking, you talk about a workbook. What is that? Okay. So in the episode, I think that's starting tomorrow, it was changed from saying workbook to it's going to start saying worksheet. Right, so there should be a worksheet that goes with each of those, goes with each of the days that you do. And so you basically do each one. And then when you're ending at the end, you put them all together and you end up with the workbook. Okay. And so there'll be a link that I will have to get into there. Someone mentioned that to me and said, hey, you said the workbook, but it's actually a worksheet. The workbook comes at the end when you put everything together. All right. East Coaster says, Dr. E, you gave me some great advice about not eating an apple after completing a fast because my system is sensitive. Your advice was to eat protein first, then 30 minutes, then eat again. Ah, okay. So East Coaster, I remember answering that question. Yeah. So thank you for that question and thank you for coming on. Yes, awesome, Pamela. Thanks, Teresa. Hey, East Coaster, nice to meet you. Welcome from Gian. Teresa saying she thinks that my ketones are going to be 0.2. Steve says 0.1. East Coaster saying hi and okay. All right. So let's hop over. Let's have our conversation. So what are we really doing? Okay. And so you heard my let's get rid of this comment. There we go. Okay. So as we started, you heard me talk about being within the health space for over 2 decades. Actually, it's almost 3 decades now. Okay. I mean, I think in 2 years, I would have been in healthcare for 3 decades. And over the course of all that time, there has been a underlying kind of idea that chronic illness is simply that. It's an illness that is there and that it will remain there. You can mitigate the symptoms. You can mitigate some of the complications. You can make people comfortable, but you cannot fix it. You can't go beyond that. And so as I have trained, and as I've taken care of now thousands of patients over those years, through medical school, through residency, through fellowship, and now having my own practice, and in talking with you and dealing with people who are contacting me for consultations and having conversation with them, there's this almost apathy that we all have experienced. And in fact, my personal story is one that falls right into that. Because if you had told me, right, in the middle of my training, or when I started my practice, or when I was in fellowship, as the guy who is talking to and teaching people about diabetes and the complications of diabetes and treating diabetes, and you said to me, you know what, we can reverse the diabetes, we can get rid of diabetes, my brain would not have accepted that. Because that's not how we trained. That's not how I was trained. But something has changed. And over the course of this time, I've seen countless patients who are taking charge of their health and taking charge of their lives, and they are improving their metabolic disease. And so the idea of a chronic illness has changed. In fact, the American Diabetic Association just a few years ago, for the first time, put criteria out for what they term remission, right? A euphemism, if you will, for reversal. And so while some things may seem beyond fixing, as you heard me say, there's always room for going beyond limitations. Okay? And so expanding our vision is what we want to do. How do we expand our vision beyond limitations? And what does that really mean? What does it mean for us as a group? What does it mean in this space? And what does it mean personally for you as you're looking into the future for what you want to do in terms of your diabetes? So limitless living, which we'll talk about, the path to reversing diabetes and expanding our vision beyond that limitation. One of my favorite favorite types of stories are stories about superheroes. In fact, if you go to one of my bedrooms here, I've got thousands of comic books. Yeah, I do. I've got lots of comic books. And as you read through the comics, there are several themes that begin coming through. And one of my favorite themes, and one of the reasons that we all like the idea of the superhero or the person who has special abilities, is that when they first start out, they're unsure. Unless they've been taught and they've been bred and raised, and that's part of what they are. Even think about the prototypic superhero. That's Superman, right? Everybody knows Superman. Now we've got, the Marvels, and you can see parallels in those as well. But think about how they develop. Even Iron Man, when he first developed this prototype of the arc reactor when he was in the cave and learning how to use it, he's unsure. It's unsteady. It's almost like having a little child who has to eventually learn to walk. And they're taking those first little signs. You're seeing those little signs where they are holding their head up, and then they're pushing themselves up, and then they roll over, and then they got their feet and their arms and hands up in the air, right? And then they get on all fours, and then they pull themselves up. Notice what's happening. There is a progression that happens over the course of time. And they finally pull themselves up and they take that first step. And how excited we are when we see that. And that's the idea as we think about expanding the vision beyond what we see, beyond limitations. Because sometimes what we see, what we are seeing in front of us, the possibilities that we've been taught are just limitations. Limitations that come from fear, limitations that come from history, limitations that come from doubt, limitations even that come from lack of training. So we're expanding beyond that, because that little child, that superhero, that person who has the special ability, they don't know what they can do at the moment. But as they learn, as they grow, as they develop, as they actually embrace the idea that they can be different, then we begin to see where they can go. And in our health space, that is the case. So that doubt that I sometimes see in people's eyes when they come to my office for the first time, that the dismay that they sometimes feel because they're having complications. They've lost a toe. They've had partial amputation. The doctors told them that they've got to get injections in their eye. Some people who are already on dialysis. Some people who have had heart attacks or strokes, or some people who are looking at their metabolic disease and wondering, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? I had a guy who came to me several years ago now, who walked in to the office, who was just diagnosed with diabetes and broke down in tears because he said, I saw what this does to my mom or did to my dad. And I don't know how I could escape it. So he had already in that moment decided that what happened to mom or what happened to dad was going to already happen to me. And so we want to say, no, we are expanding beyond this idea that there is only this. That's the growth mindset that we talk about. So there is a natural progression that comes from New Year, New You. That's what we've been on. That's where we've been for the whole of last year. And the idea there that we are building a new version of ourselves. We are now embarking on a new journey as we are getting into 2025, as we actually have our toes in 2025 right now. Okay? So New Year, New You has a powerful call to start anew, to focus on essential habits, to build the foundations of health. And now, as we plunge into this year, 2025, we're ready for the next stage. Just like that baby who is pushing up now, and they finally are standing, and they're beginning now to take steps. Unsure at first, but they're taking steps. And the purpose of this new idea, the new phase, has to do more than just a theme. It's not just a theme, it is a mindset. It takes our commitment to health to the next level. It takes it to new heights. It expands beyond what we thought possible to reversing diabetes and to embracing a life without limits. And so introducing limitless living. This idea that we are breaking free from the boundaries and pursuing our best self, pursuing our best health, and pursuing our best goals without being held back by external, those things that are outside of me, or internal roadblocks. And you hear me summarize it, and you've heard me say that there's nothing outside of me or nothing that's in me that's going to prevent me from doing what I need to do to get myself to the metabolic space I need to reach so that I can be healthy. So limitless living is this idea of cultivating a mindset and acknowledging your ability to overcome life's obstacles. Right? And rise above the challenges. It's like you remember in the Superman in the Marvel movie when Tony Stark first puts the armor on and he's not sure, right? He crashes and he can't quite fly, and over time he learns and he rose above those challenges. Embracing limitless living means actively shedding limiting beliefs. It means redefining what's possible and tapping into our inner potential to shape our destiny the way we want. It empowers us to step forward confidently, like that baby, confidently. So navigating challenges and being resilient and to maintain clarity of purpose in every aspect of our journey. That's what limitless living says. So why limitless living? Why limitless living? It's limitless living because limitless living gives us growth. Limitless living acknowledges the progress that we've made from New Year, New You, acknowledges the places that we've been, right? So new things that many of us saw last year. And it even pushes us to greater potential and greater heights to infinitely make changes for ourselves. Limitless living moves us from habits to mindset. So New Year, New You focused on starting fresh with foundational routines. Limitless living says, now let's take those foundations and let's challenge the boundaries. Let's adopt a growth mindset. Let's explore what lies beyond our expectations. I say often to people that the place of biggest growth is not once you've crossed over the line of the unknown. The biggest place of growth for a lot of us is not getting into the new year. It's not getting the new job. It's not getting into the new relationship. But the biggest place of growth for many of us is at the point where we are making the decision to go look for a job, making the decision to move to a new city, making the decision to approach that person that we want to get a relationship with, making the decision to make a change in how we eat, making a decision to get up to start 100 days of walking or rowing or lifting or whatever the exercise you're going to do. the biggest point of growth is when you are standing at that line. One of the one of the silly things that happened to me recently was I was involved with a group, and I had made some arrangements to do some things as part of that group, but I wasn't quite sure how it would be received. And so I wrote a text, I wrote an email, and I was getting ready to send it to the person that was in charge, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And I did that several times. Now, I had this thing all planned out. I had talked to the people who were going to be involved, and I had a plan, but I had not yet gone and said to the folks who were in charge, okay, this is what I want to do. And so I kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And so finally, I sent the text. Boom. I said, hey, this is what needs to happen. And almost immediately I got a text back from someone else who said, hey, we have something else going on that day. So the time when you need to be able to train and do this is fine. Now, they didn't respond to my text. They were sending information out. So they're over there getting ready to send the text. I'm over here getting ready to send the text. Now, the reason I tell that story is because it would have been simple had I waited, right? I would have gotten the message from them that, hey, this place is available. And I was like, okay, everything worked out. But you know where the growth came? The growth came when I owned what I wanted to do and sent the text prior to getting the other one back that says everything was fine. And so for a lot of us, we are waiting to get confirmation, but that's not where the growth happens. Once you have made the decision, once you've stepped across the line, once you've looked beyond what you know, once you've made the change, once you've acknowledged the challenge, once you've started the class, once you've approached the person in the relationship, once you've made the change in your diet, once you've gotten up at whatever hour, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, once you've made that change, the growth has already happened. And so in limitless living, right, we move from habits to we move to mindset. And then limitless living expands our possibilities. Imagine not just managing diabetes. Notice the word, not just managing diabetes or improving your health markers, but reversing diabetes and unlocking energy, unlocking confidence, and unlocking a renewed zest for life. There are people who are so tired because their blood sugars are so high and they've got these complications that the only thing that they're thinking of is, oh my God, diabetes. But I want to not convince. I don't want to convince you, but I want you to understand that diabetes is simply a part of your life. It should not be the all of your life. There's so much out there that you need to be looking at and doing in your life. And this should not be the thing that stops you from doing that. So what is the value of limitless living? Value of limitless living, one, is a mindset shift. Moving from I need to do this to I am capable of doing this. And I am capable of anything. I need to control my blood sugar. I need to improve my cholesterol. I need to go exercise. I need to improve my eating. So I am capable of doing that. Do you know there are a lot of people who think that they cannot eat better, that they cannot exercise, that they cannot improve their health, that they cannot get good blood sugars? So moving from I need to I'm capable of. It's about removing those perceived barriers and moving beyond that and fostering self-confidence, right? the value of limitless living. It's about building on foundations. So we are not scrapping and abandoning the things that we learned, all those principles, the heat model, habits, emotions, access, and taste, right? Those are still there. We've got to use them. We've got to know them. We've got to be able to think about the thing that just caused me to sit right now and go eat the ice cream. I've got to think about the thing that just caused me now to want to go and buffer, right? The COPE model, clarify, observe, pause, execute. Those things are still there. We take those essentials, we take the skills, we take the knowledge from last year, from the year before, the art of letting go, and we build on them to create even stronger, resilient, limitless selves. And then sustainable health transformation. This isn't a 1-year challenge. It's not a 1-month challenge. It's not a quick fix. It's about creating an enduring lifetime lifestyle of wellness, of growth, and of personal potential. So the value of limitless living, it teaches mindset shifts that you can do more than you see right now. That's growth mindset. That you can be better, that you are resilient, that you are capable, and that you can make decisions for yourself. It builds on the foundations that we've had. It teaches sustainable health habits, and it strives for global holistic transformation. Do you know that it is possible to begin managing blood sugars, but because you're depressed, the blood sugar gets worse? Let me say that again. It is possible to be in the process of managing blood sugars and actually have some pretty decent blood sugars. And then something happens, some stressful event happens, and the blood sugars go out of control. People say, well, I don't understand what happened. I am not eating any differently. No, you're not eating any differently, but your body is responding not to sugar, but is responding to the stress, is responding to the depression, the lack of sleep, is responding to the pain, is responding to the fact that you don't like your job, is responding to the fact that you are frustrated over not being able to get better health. It's responding to the fact that you think that you need to be in a better financial position. It's responding to the fact that your relationship isn't working. It's responding to the fact that you have doubts about where you are in life right now. So it's not just about the sugar. It's about this holistic idea. And so we're striving to put everything in place so that all those things help as we talk about managing our blood sugars, as we talk about managing our diabetes. So what is the power of limitless living? Limitless living says that there is empowerment. Limitless living reinforces and rethinks the idea that my health is somebody else's responsibility. It says that my health and the benefits that I get are within my grasp. They're in my control. I can make decisions that are directly reflected in how my health goes. It empowers me to feel in charge. One of the most beautiful things that happens in my office is when someone comes in and I could see their shoulders are bent, their heads are down, they talk in a low voice, and sometimes they don't look me in the eye. First of all, they don't want to be there. Right? Maybe their doctor sent them to see me. Maybe they were at the hospital and they had a heart attack, or they lost a limb, or something happened and somebody said, hey, you got to go see the endocrinologist. And they show up with almost like a cloud of despondency and doubt. And we sit down, and over the course of time, I talk with them, and we come to the point where they realize that, man, no, I'm in charge. And when they come back, their heads are held up, they're looking me in the eye, their shoulders are back, and they're smiling. I can't tell you the number of people that I've said to them on the second or third visit, I said, I'm so excited to see you smiling. Because all of a sudden, they feel empowered. Limitless living, the power of limitless living is that it encourages self-discovery. So as we push boundaries, we learn more about ourselves. We learn what we're capable of. We learn about what we can achieve. And we learn about what are those things in our lives, in our thoughts, in our history that are pushing us. The conversations that I have with people about the history around some of their food choices. Some of the food choices have to do with the fact that this is what mom made. This is what caused me to feel loved. This is where I went or what I did when I was lonely. This is what I ate when I first was able to buy for myself. When I felt like somebody trusted me and they sent me to the store, this is the candy I first bought. I'm talking about people who are 60, 70, 80 years old who are now going back and thinking about the things that are pushing their buttons even today. So there's self-discovery. Now I'll say to you that some of the self-discovery is going to be difficult because we don't always want to look at those things. We can't always, as a matter of fact, there are some things that happened that are way back here somewhere in the back of your head that you don't even think about because you say you've moved on, but that thing, that thought is still influencing your behavior today. It's influencing how you eat. I was sharing with our community. I think this last month when we had our community meetup. I said to them that one of the things that happened to me when I was growing up and as I got into adult life was I often felt unheard. And in fact, much of my aspirations or much of my success was driven because I wanted to be seen and I wanted to be heard. Because if I succeeded, of course, people would have to listen to me. All right? You get the idea now? Okay. So when I put on weight and I was 285 pounds, when I walked into a room, people saw me. I want you to see the pathology developing. So there were times when I could have made a decision to lose weight. But in my mind, the weight was beneficial because I was seen. You see what happened in my head? So I had twisted that thing so much that now in my head, it was beneficial to be as big as I was, to have that weight. Because when I walked into a room, everybody saw Dr. Woode. And there are things that are going on in our lives, things that are going on in our thought process, in our psyche, in our behaviors that we're going to have to face, that we're going to have to challenge if we're going to live a limitless life. Limitless living supports holistic growth. We're not just addressing physical health. We're looking at mental health. We're looking at mental resilience. We're looking at emotional well-being. We're looking at your attitudes. We're looking at your organization. We're looking at your ability to cook and ability to shop. Because how we balance all of that helps foster what we do in our health space, and it fosters what we do as we live a limitless life. So all of those things, all of those are reasons why limitless living is beneficial. And so when we think about the power, that's there, we have to understand that limitless living is this idea that we're breaking free from those boundaries. We are moving beyond where we thought we could go. It's about the reach that goes beyond what we see to a place where we never imagined. I remember one of the most exciting things for me as we got into our season was beginning to see people have the success that I knew they could have, that they doubted. People who lost 30, 40, 50, 60 pounds. People whose A1Cs went from being uncontrolled to now down into what's called the remission phase. So A1Cs going from 10, 12, down to 6, 7, down to 5. You guys saw my transformation last year as we lost, the year before, 52 pounds as our A1C improved. And by the way, my A1C we're going to have that checked here in just a little while. Because I've got a month to get over Christmas. So all of those things are benefits that we saw. And as we move into the new space, we are going to be talking about new ideas as we build on the old ideas. The idea of reversing diabetes, the pillars, that doesn't go away. The HEAT model, that doesn't go away. Habits, emotions, access, and taste. Those are the triggers that push us to eat a certain way. The COPE model, how do we handle those triggers? Balanced bites, how do we now begin looking at the food that we're eating and making conscious decisions that the food that we are going to be fueling our body with is going to be the best quality food that we can have. How do we move into that space? And then we begin looking at new concepts like rhythm, alignment, and process, and scheduling, and strategies. 100 days walk to consistency. That is part of of limitless living, right? It is saying, hey, I am going to do something that I didn't normally do. I'm going to be taking a stand. I'm going to get up. I'm going to go and I'm going to do something for my health. And as you watch through the videos, you'll see that I'm walking at different times of the day. Like I don't have, I could get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go walking. So I am getting up, I'm walking at lunchtime, right? We have meetings at different times. So days where I don't have meetings, I walk at lunch. I get up in the morning and I walk in the morning when I can. Sometimes I walk at night, I walk in the afternoon. So what limitless living says is that there's not going to be nothing outside of me or nothing inside of me that's going to prevent me from doing what I need to do. So if it is that I'm staying up too late and I can't get up to do something beneficial for my health, limitless living says I have to look at that. What's keeping me up? If it is that I don't know how to make anything other than ramen noodles, or I don't know how to make anything else other than the things that are driving my blood sugar up, limitless living says I've got to figure out a way to learn how to cook. If I don't know how to shop, and I forgot, someone sent a message in our in the comments that we should do a show where we go cooking. We go not cooking. We go shopping. And that's a great idea, by the way. If that was you that said that, thank you for that idea. So Limitless Living says, I've got to go now and figure out, okay, in the store, where are the good foods? What are the things I should be looking at? Limitless Living says, I've got to now learn about cheat codes in foods. We talked about different hacks, right? Food hacks. Notice what we're doing. In our Limitless Living, we are attacking every possible place where we need to make a change so that we can be healthy. I was having a conversation recently, and during the conversation, I got annoyed. And I ended the conversation, and I went, got in my car, and I was driving home. I think I called my wife, tell her I was on my way home. But anyway, so I'm in the car, and this conversation is playing in my head because I had not resolved the conversation. And the plan was that I was going to do some buffering. And you guys know my buffering has to do lots of different things. Sweets, right? So it doesn't matter. Chocolate. Or I should say it doesn't matter. Chocolate. Cadbury. Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Donuts. Cinnamon swirls. Those are the types of things that I buffer with. And so I'm in my car, and I had a plan. The plan was that I was going to drive home. I was going to stop at the store. I was going to get my stuff, right? And basically, I'll be eating in the car on my way home. And I had to ask myself, what does limitless living look like in this situation? What does it look like? And I had to admit to myself that limitless living meant not stopping at the store. In fact, at that moment, pulling over, getting on the phone, and talking to the person and saying, hey, listen. And hashing that out. Now, you may not resolve the situation at that moment, but when that comes out, that's one less trigger. That heat model, habits, emotions, access, and taste. Those emotions, if you let that thing fester, then trying to stop it down the road is going to be pointless. And I knew, had I not done that I was going to be stopping at the store and I was going to be buffering. Recently, I had someone tell me about a device, which was a great idea, and I was so excited about it. And so we're talking about access, right? So habits, emotions, access. And so this thing, I forgot what it's, well, I shouldn't say forgot, but I'm not going to say it to you because you might go and buy it. But it allows you to put stuff in a bowl and you freeze it, and then you take it out and the machine makes ice cream or sorbet or whatever it is. You can put anything in there. You could put cookies, you could put candy, you could put fruits. And I was excited because I was like, man, this is good. This is good. And it was not that expensive. And I put it in my cart. And I said to myself, what does limitless living look like in this situation? And in this situation, limitless living said, it doesn't make sense to go get this thing because it's one more thing that you've got to worry about. It's one more thing that you're going to have to struggle with. Why bring it in and then have to worry about it down the road? Now, I am not suggesting that we go live on an island and block ourselves off from everything. Because the reason we're doing what we do is because we are built for connection. We're built for family. We're built for fun. We're built for joy. We are built to engage. So we're not going to go lock ourselves up on an island somewhere, lock the door, and take out all the stuff that we possibly could think of that's going to cause problems. That's not what I'm saying. But we're making decisions that set us up for success. We're making decisions that are going to allow us to be in the space where we know where our health is heading. So I say to you, in this space where we are in 2025. We are beginning this new version of our path, or we're going to a higher level. We're no longer crawling. We're no longer lifting our heads up. We are actually taking steps. And those steps are going to get surer and stronger as we move through the season. And Limitless Living says, there's nothing inside of me. There's nothing outside of me that's going to prevent me from doing what I need to do to be healthy this year, to reverse my diabetes and set myself up for metabolic success. Love it, love it, love it. All right. So let me hop over. I do see a lot of folks. I saw some comments that were coming through. So let's go ahead and let's grab some of those. And I think, let's see, 24 hours. I think we talked about Pamela. She was doing a 24-hour once a week. So Pam, congratulations once again. Thanks, Pam. Let's see. Let's go back over here. Oh, okay. No. Sorry. Oh, yes. Okay. So Pamela said that. And now East Coaster says that I started my first 24-hour fast on January 1st, finished January 2nd. All right. We got some hand claps there. Pamela says, congratulations, East Coaster. Keep it up. Thank you, Pamela. Jennifer says, congratulations. Awesome. Great way to start the year. Everybody's just congratulating. Teresa says, congratulations. Autumn. Hey, Autumn, how are you? Autumn says, I'm trying to get in control of my binge eating. Currently having a rough time getting that control. Starting a fast tomorrow. Fasting is the only way I gain control. Now, I'm going to hold on to that comment because there are a couple points that I want to make there. So thank you for sharing that with us, Autumn, by the way. Gion says, wow, East Coaster. Autumn says, I feel like I am my own worst enemy. Hey, David. David say, hello, Doc. Jennifer says, hey, Joy. I'm in the same boot. Once I start, it's difficult to stop. Yes. Pamela says, Autumn, Joy, keep trying. Don't give up. Natalie. Hey, Natalie, what's up? Hey, y'all. This is my sister, Natalie. My sister for sister. David says, become a member. Become a member. Yes, become a member. Became a member. Hey, David, what? Boom, there you go, man. And we'll talk about that. I'm going to actually hold on to that for a second. Teresa says, yes, Autumn, Joy, you can successfully manage it one step at a time, correct? Autumn says, I want to take control of my own health so bad, then I do something stupid. I'd like to binge on junk food, but I refuse to give it up. I can't do it. Okay, Autumn, I'm holding on to that. You got some great comments there, Autumn. Thank you. Teresa, hey, David. Pamela says, don't keep junk food around. I like that, so I'm going to star that one. Baby steps, Gion says. She says, I love baby steps. Teresa says, yes, you can. Autumn says, I never have junk food in my house. Almost ashamed to say that I actually drive to the grocery store on a daily basis to buy the junk food I want to eat. Okay, Autumn. So I've been commenting these, but let's go ahead and let's jump into some of these, because this one, I want to deal with this one first as we move backwards. Okay? Now, I'm going to say this to you. I'm going to say it to everybody who's listening. And I'm going to get some flack from some people. This is going to be the food police. They're going to get on me. I don't want you to fight the food. Let me pause. So I don't want you to fight the food because, to be honest, none of us are strong enough to overcome the food. I know we think it. I know we say if we have, and people tell us, if you have enough willpower, if you have enough gumption, if you're good enough, if you are strong enough, then you won't eat that thing, and that is absolutely not the case. Okay? So for everybody listening, what I want you to do is, as you're eating the thing, notice I'm not telling you to go eat it. You're going to eat it. And Autumn, the reason I know we're going to eat it is, guess what? Because I eat it. I don't bring stuff in the house. How do you think I get the chocolate? I drive to the store and I get the chocolate. And I'll go to the store and I'll buy 2-3 chocolates and I'll eat one and I'll take the rest and I'll throw it in the trash. I'll break it up. As a matter of fact, you guys, if you didn't see my show that I did on, was it last month, I think, where I got all the chocolate, right? A lot of that chocolate, you know what happened to it? I actually had to open the wrapper, crumble it up, and dump it in the trash. Otherwise, guess what was gonna happen? I was gonna eat it. The question is not, am I going to? Because you are going to. The question is why. And if we can answer the why question, we are on the way to dealing with the food. The food is doing something for us. It's giving us something. It's accomplishing something for us. And until we can figure that out, until we name that thing, the food has the power. But the moment we can figure out what the food was given, is it a comfort? Is it it makes me feel better? Is it that it helps me avoid? Is that it helps me not feel? Is it that it brings back that calm memory? As soon as we identify that and we can name it, we have power. Then the question becomes, how do I deal with that feeling that I just discovered? Remember, we're talking about self-discovery. That's part of limitless living. Because when I deal with that, the food becomes a non-issue. But as long as I'm not dealing with this thing, the food is always going to provide the comfort. Because the food doesn't argue with me. Right? It doesn't fuss at me. It's always there. Anytime I want, anytime I'm available, it's there. So as you are dealing with that, what I want you to do is I want you to begin thinking why. And it's going to take time. Remember, the way that we get over this stuff is not in the moment. It's not in that moment. It's the stuff that we do prior to the moment. It's the training that we go through, and it's the community that's around us that allows us to be able to do what we need to do to be successful. Okay? So Autumn, thank you for that. I am there with you. In fact, I had to get rid of some chocolate yesterday, by the way. Anyway, that's a whole other story. Autumn says, hard to believe. Okay, so it's continuing from the comment before. I know that this is how strong my desire to binge gets. Pamela said, you are just going to have to stop driving to get it. Maybe walk. Then it may not be wanted anymore. So Pamela, I'll tell you, I'll walk. So if the car goes out, guess what? I'm walking to get that chocolate. Jennifer says, became a member. Yay, Jennifer! So if you, and we launched our membership just a few days ago. Actually, this is the first week. So that is a wonderful way to begin joining the community, because once you become a member, you get into the community and you get access to the group, so that you and us, we can begin talking to each other and supporting each other outside of the channel. Right, because it's great to come on here and we talk just like we're doing right now. I love this, but one of the things that I think it was Jennifer that said to me last year sometime, it would be nice for us to support each other more during our fasting, right? So that during the fasting, if you're having an issue, as a matter of fact, if you're binging, if you're getting ready to binge, if I'm driving the chocolate, I might put a message in there. Hey guys, I'm on my way to get some chocolate, right? And I may need somebody to just pop back at me and say, hey, don't get the chocolate. Okay. So so become a member. Autumn says, I know you're right, Pamela. I'm doing it to myself. I try every day to fight the urge to binge. I'm pledging to you all here that tomorrow I'm fasting. Okay. So a lot of things I want to say in there. Once again, so back to the idea of the urge, right? What we're doing is we're working to figure out what's causing it. Let me say that again. If you ever say to me that I'm fighting not eating a thing, the first thing I'm going to say to you is I need you to figure out what is the thing doing for you. That's the first thing. Okay. So Autumn says, I'm pledging to do the 100-day rowing. Okay, so Autumn, that was you that says you were rowing. Okay. Jennifer said, hey Joy, I put us in the same boat and now you are rowing it. Way to go. Too funny. Pamela says, great, Autumn Joy. My one goal for 2025 is to reverse my type 2 diabetes. Oh my God, Jennifer, that cracked me up. Vivian Barnes said, responding to the stressful events. Wow. Vivian, hey, how are you? Thanks for coming through, Vivian. Thanks for being in the space with us. Jennifer, responding to the stressful events. Yes. Hello, Vivian. Teresa saying, hi, Vivian. Everybody's saying hello. Pamela saying, hi, Vivian. Autumn says, I feel like the holiday time of year always brings out feelings from the past that are not positive. Yes. So habits, emotions, access, and taste. We eat because of habits that we formed, those routines that we've gotten into. We eat because of emotions, the pain, the depression, the anxiety, the boredom, the frustration, all of those. Eat the memories of abandonment, of inadequacy, of one of the things that I suffered from for a long time is imposter syndrome. I suffered from this idea of not being seen. And the food was that friend that was there all the time. And so you're right, that idea of the holidays bringing on that, it's the time. It's one of those times when people begin going into themselves and they start to go into their heads, and now the memories start. And once the memory starts, then the feelings start. And when the feelings start, we want to not feel the feeling. And once that happens, we're in that rabbit hole. 2025 will be my year of transformation, Autumn says. I need to think about limitless living when I start thinking about going out to buy junk food for a binge. Yes. Once again, I want you and everyone who's listening, I want you to begin thinking about, okay, what do I do? Or what is it that's causing this? What's causing it? And it's not a one-time thought. In fact, you may have to go through 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 times of thinking, what does limitless living look like in this situation, before you finally, your brain says, okay, now let's think about it. Let's deal with it. So Autumn says, thank you so much, Dr. Woode. Yes, she said, I told my brother on Christmas Day that I always get depressed around the holidays because I spend so much time thinking about those who are not with us anymore. Yeah. I hear that. I feel that, Autumn. It is, it's a difficult time for a lot of people. When we see those missing cheers, when we see those missing memories and people who used to fill us and fill our space with joy, and they're no longer there. And so we go into ourselves, like I said, and the one of the things that keeps us there is the food, because the food makes us feel better. The food makes us feel like, okay, everything's going to be all right. Okay? All right. So several things I want to say. One, thank you all for being here. Limitless Living is off and running. But that doesn't mean that we're forgetting the things that we have done and the places that we've been. Remember that we are building on a platform that is the Triple E formula for success. We educate, we empower, and we encourage. We educate with the shows. We educate with the podcasts. We educate with the blogs. We empower with the tools that we will learn as we move through the space. We empower with the tools that are out there, where we got all the shows that are coming out on my 100-day walk to success, to consistency. Right? That is a tool. We will learn more tools. We've learned about fasting. We've learned about emotional intelligence. We've learned about balanced bites, and we'll come back and revisit some of those as we enhance them and get them to a better place. Right? So educate, empower, and encourage. And there is a concept that I want you to get. I was in the car with my son, and we were talking about a devotion that he had. So he read a devotion, and the devotion was about worry. And I said to him, I said, are there things that you worry about? And he said, yes. He named a couple of things. He's in school and, basketball. And I asked him a question. I said, how many of the things that we worry about never come true? And he said, I don't know. I said, well, let's look it up. And we started looking up, and we started researching, and we found lots of different places where people were talking about worry and so forth. And a number kept bubbling up. And the number was 91.4%. 91.4%. And as I researched this thing, I'm looking at this thing, I said, are you kidding me? Is that the number of stuff that comes true? Because it seems like a lot of stuff comes true. But 91.4% of the things that we worry about, 91.4% of the things that we stress about, 91.4% of the things that we are anxious about never come true. So that means then that 7.6% of the things that we were worried about are the things that actually come true. And of the things that come true, I want you to listen to this. Of the things that come true, a major portion of those are not things that are as bad as we thought they were going to be, or that we can't handle. So 91.4%. We spend our time and energies in those things. And I am proposing that we spend our energies living limitlessly, living beyond the boundaries, living beyond the space that confines us, living beyond the memories that shackle us, living beyond the emotions that so upset us that it pushes us into those buffering behaviors. 91.4. You'll see that all over. 91.4. You'll see the logo, 91.4. You'll see it on mugs, 91.4. You'll see it on my shirt that I'm going to be wearing next week or in one of these weeks. 91.4% of the things that we worry about, the things that currently push our buttons, never come true. And so as you are thinking about your life, as you're thinking about 2025, as you're thinking about where we're heading, Limitless Living says there's nothing inside of me. There's nothing outside of me that's going to prevent me from doing what I need to do to reverse my diabetes, to be metabolically healthy, and to put myself in the space that I need to be. We are breaking barriers. We're breaking barriers, and we are breaking free from those things, from the boundaries that pursue us, that keep us shackled, and we are pursuing our best life, our best health, and our best goals for this year. Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. I am so excited that you're here. Later this week, we will have our check-ins for fasting that are coming up. So join us for that as we move back into a regular schedule. So we'll have the check-ins that are coming up. We are doing videos from the vault that will be showing up on Saturday night at 9 p.m. Central. And then on Sunday, we will have This Week in Review as we normally do. Remember, if you've not already joined us in the morning, every morning at 6 o'clock, we're doing our 100-day walk to consistency. Make sure you get out there. Make sure you join us. Whether you're roaring, whether you're walking, you're jogging, you're lifting, whatever you're doing Pilates, you're doing yoga, join us in the morning so that we can be successful together. One of the things that people tell me when I talk to all those people who are successful, when we talk to the military and successful people that I deal with, they say one of the best things that you could do is get into a community. One of the most important things you can do is get into a community. And if you are ready to make a change for your health, make a change for 2025, I invite you to join the Dwain Woode MD community. You'll see all that information on the channel. Once you become a member, you'll get into the group that we have that allows you. We have a monthly meeting that we do. You can get in there supporting each other. Our monthly meetup for this month will be, and it's usually the fourth Thursday of the month, and so the 23rd of January is our next community meetup, and you can access that by becoming a member here on the channel. Thank you all for being here. We'll talk more about some of the things that you see. All right, so we're in a different space, and I'm excited about that. Made some changes here. My son helped with all of that, by the way. And so I'm excited to be in this space with you. Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Woode with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here on the channel, I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. And in this year, we're living a limitless life, y'all. We are moving into a space that is exciting. We're moving to a space that is full of wonder. We're moving to a space that sets us up for success. So we'll see you on those paths as we walk 100 days, and of course, as we move into a different space. Thank you for being here. Good night, everyone.